All right, to get you back up to speed, we were talking about a lawsuit where a guy bought a Ferrari 430 and he ended up suing the dealership for fraud. And he got awarded $5.8 million by probably the dumbest jury I've ever seen in my life. And I have no idea who's on the jury. But it was just a ludicrous award for something that is, I mean, to me, a small claims court matter as to whether a dealership should pay for something or not. But it was obviously fought by the dealership's attorneys. They said the award was without base and without merit, and they wanted to have that award reduced, right? So they're not arguing the facts in the case. I dug a little bit more into it, and what ended up sealing the deal for the dealership was that it was essentially fraud because the dealership, not the buyer, had a PPI done, and then the dealer represented that everything on the PPI was fixed or taken care of. Now, this could have all been resolved because fixed could mean any number of things. The only thing that they didn't take care of were the exhaust manifolds, because exhaust manifolds for Ferraris are like $3,500 or $4,000 a piece if you get actual Ferrari exhaust manifolds. You can cut the heat shielding off and weld them together, and they're all good. You can get used ones, whatever you want to do. They spent a lot of money repairing this dude's car. Like, this guy, if ever there's a guy not to like, it's this guy, because he essentially got a free Ferrari and then a lot of money awarded to him for nonsense. I mean, if I bought a car and the dealership said, here's the stuff, here's the PPI, here's the stuff that's wrong with it, it's a Ferrari. There is a certain level of piece of shit that comes with buying a Ferrari, and you just accept that. And you're like, all right, cool, I got to fix some things. A cracked exhaust manifold is what the whole crux of this is about, is that there was a cracked exhaust manifold and that the dealer didn't fix it, which it's a common problem. It's incredibly common. It's to the point where they were warranted on Ferraris for, I think, 10 years after the date of purchase, that the manifolds were warranted. And it's not uncommon to see a couple sets of manifolds go through here. I'm surprised the dude didn't sue Ferrari. Why don't you do that? Why don't you add it to, you're on a success streak right now. Why don't you go sue Ferrari for making crappy manifolds and you feared for your life or something? You could tell I'm a little annoyed by this. And I'm going to read to you. So the guy got awarded $5.8 million plus the actual cost of repairs. So $5.8 in punitive damages, and then $20,000 in bullshit to fix the $70,000 car, $90,000 car that they already put a new clutch in and did all this other stuff to. Just a complete nightmare for the dealership. I actually feel bad for the dealership. If you guys don't look bad at this dealership, it was Mercedes-Benz of Northwest Arkansas. By all means, if you feel sympathetic at all, go buy a car from them, because this is absurd, and hopefully they have an insurance policy that covers this and they don't have to write a check for $500,000. But if they did, this is ridiculous. And why $500,000? Because a judge, the Honorable Judge P.K. Holmes, not to be confused with Sherlock, decided that the award was excessive of $5.8 million and awarded the dude $500,000, $500,000 in damages, right? Damages, that's tax-free. That's like, oh, I can't sleep at night because I was... It's so ludicrous when you have people deciding on things and just don't understand. I drive down the road and I hear cars with exhaust leaks every day. You're not in an imminent fear of death. It's not like they didn't put the wheels on and the guy, or the steering wheel was about to come off in the dude's hands, or he had no brakes. It was an exhaust leak, a common exhaust leak, and it was behind the engine. It was like behind the driver. So the exhaust leak, as you're driving along, blows that way. The nonsense. I'm going to read you an excerpt. That's why I have my laptop on my lap. The Silver Star Automotive Group, which is the dealership group, appealed the initial ruling, arguing that it constituted cruel, unusual, excessive, and unlawful punishment, while they aimed to get the ruling down to $27,000. So on a $90,000 car that they already spent $10,000 to fix, they were willing, and then legal fees, they were willing to spend another $30,000 for this guy, which would have been a home run, like a home run for this guy. And it says Judge Holmes met them somewhere in the middle, landing on $500,000. That's not meeting in the middle. That's charging a dealership. That is penalizing a dealership for $500,000. And it also did not come without and this is from the drive, without a written lashing from Holmes, from the judge, making an affirmative misrepresentation about the car's condition, especially when the condition gives rise to safety concerns, is often considered one of the more reprehensible acts of business fraud. Come on, Judge Holmes. Like, get back on the golf course, just play. Put this in the hands of somebody who actually understands what is dangerous, what is not dangerous. To consider a cracked exhaust manifold, which I would say 30% of 430s currently have existing while they're being used right now, is cracked manifolds. To consider that a safety concern, like the guy was about to spontaneously combust or not be able to stop and run into the side of a building and burst into flames, is complete hogwash. It was not that big of a deal. That's why they didn't fix it. It's just a cracked manifold, which could have been fixed, and that's why if the dealer was smart, they would have just hit it with a quick weld and be like, we fixed it, and then they could argue whether it was a good enough fix or not. This guy, the fuel smell wasn't on the PPI, so it probably didn't exist or just developed over the course, because a dealer gets the car, probably just sits there, whatever. It's not like it's actively being driven every day so people can pick up on it. I have that luxury having an exotic car rental company that the cars are always moving, so if there is a problem, it usually rises to the surface very quickly and you can get it addressed. A dealership can buy a car with 73 miles on it and sell it with 74 miles on it just from moving it around the lot. You're not going to see these problems develop that may develop with use. So, blah, 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 blah. In the end, the automotive, Silver Star Automotive was ordered to pay $6,835 in the actual damages. That's how much it would have cost to fix the manifolds through whatever the Ferrari certified manifold replacement bullshit that his lawyer submitted. $13,366 in incidentals, which is probably legal fees and filing fees and nonsense. And then $500,000 in tax-free punitive damages. This guy is making out like a bandit. This is over a $90,000 car. It spits in the face of everyone that actually suffers physical or mental anguish or harm in the world, that this guy's awarded $500,000 for his Ferrari that he bought that was like, oh my God, how dare you. This does not deserve $1 in punitive damages. If he got just the incidentals, and then if he got $20,000 out of it, home run. Like, this guy is now driving a as mechanically sound 430 as exists, that he ended up would have net paid 60 grand for, because this is all nonsense. Maybe 70 grand because he had to give some money to the lawyers. But this is absurd. That's the follow-up. As I said in the previous video, the $6 million was nonsense. And I still think that Judge, where is he? PK, is it PK Holmes? PK Holmes, I think you swung and missed on this one. This was nonsense. This guy, my heart goes out to the dealer. I'm all for not having something misrepresented, but I don't think a common issue that if you're so concerned about it, you can go visit the car yourself, you can inspect the car yourself. You should be entitled to get something fixed if you do feel it was misrepresented. But this is just excessively nonsense, and it highlights what is wrong with our U.S. legal system, that this guy got $500,000 for that. Sorry. Don't even want to look at that anymore. For those of you not familiar with my other company, I started a company called Adventure Drives, which combines driving and bucket list travel. So it's a lot of fun. Our next trip is up to the Northern Lights in Iceland at the end of February. We're going to be doing snowmobiling on glaciers, off-roading, taking a dip in the Blue Lagoon, and drinking whiskey until we're silly. So that's going to be a lot of fun. After that, we're off to Europe for a trip in July. If you're interested, prices can be done per person. It starts at about $3,000 per person for Iceland. Don't worry, if you don't have somebody to go with you, we can match you up with somebody. You can check the link in the description for adventuredrives.com and sign up today.